Hello, welcome to Wrestling in Mom's Basement. This is going to be Joe's punishment review for SummerSlam 1992. I have Chris Patrick Young. This gentleman to my right is my co-host, the aforementioned Joe Venuto.
That's me.
Yes.
SummerSlam 1992 took place on August 31st, 1992. All my punishment reviews are something to do with AEW. August 31st, 1992 is also a special date for this year.
Because 27 years later
is AEW All Out.
Yes.
And NXT UK taking Cardiff. And New Japan Royal
Flush.
I think. No, that's England. That's England. Royal Pains.
Royal. It's something. They had something going on that day.
Yeah.
In England.
Oh. Location.
Look at that.
Wembley Stadium in London, England.
Would you look at that?
Attendance. Almost the amount of attendance that AEW had waiting in line today for their All Out show. 80,355. Commentators. Vince McMahon and Bobby Heenan. This is probably the most famous of all the SummerSlams, even to this day. As we're not only outside, why they don't do SummerSlam outside?
Because, it's warm weather months.
Are you being sarcastic towards me, or are you being sarcastic towards them?
Them.
But for the first and only time ever, a regular pay-per-view is being held in England, too. As that other double main event was Savage vs. Warrior for Savage's world title, along with the AEW Spirit Challenge and Brett for the Intercontinental title. This show originally was going to be held in Washington, D.C., with Shawn winning the title from Brett in the first ladder match, but the change is being very close to the date of the show, so we'll get to it. Also, though, this is on a 2-day tape delay, which you would never see for a pay-per-view tape.
Absolutely not.
We open with kids arguing about whether Warrior or Savage sold out to Perfect and Flair. Another kid says Bruce Bull's going to win whether he likes it or not. Okay. He puts on a crown and declares himself Sir Bobby, King of England. Mighty versus Legion of Doom. This is on the main card with no real fanfare at all. The LOD comes to the ring on motorcycles, the whole match, pull an angle ring, and Rocco the dummy. There's nothing more to it than that. It's a ventriloquist dummy named Rocco, who was the team's inspiration. DiBiase's in his white trunks, which for some reason I'm not a fan of.
Yeah, it's very odd for him.
Vince gets in one of my favorite lines ever. The Legion of Doom is well known for their psychology in the ring. I'll pause for a minute to let that one sink in.
Yes.
I'll wait till 3 minutes. Alright, Hulk starts with DiBiase, as Tess lined to the floor of Warrior hand. Animal jumps DiBiase on the floor and sends him back inside, only for Hulk to close on him right back to the floor. The fans are waiting to LOD here. Ultimate Animal vs. IRS with Animal whip him into the corner, standing on the tie like a smart man would. A gorilla press gets 2 for Animal before he's back to Hulk for some arm work. Irwin comes back in for a sleeper, but he's only go for 2 arm drops before Hulk rings him into the buckle. The top rope close on Miss IRS, though Hulk falls out at 4. IRS drops some elbows for 2s. The fans won't stop chanting for LOD. Back to DiBiase for some knee drops, followed by chinlock. Jimmy Hart, one of the greatest matches of all time, if you don't know who this is Rocco, the dummy. Mike changes all the way out tagging and sends Vince into his usual hysteria. Hulk finally fights up and rams Ted in the buckle, but the hot tags break up. The place is going to go nuts by Animal. Listen. Ted drops some knees on Hulk and puts on a front face lock, but the Birdman, Hulk, not Cooking Blue, carries him over towards Animal. IRS breaks up another hot tag attack, but just calling double close on with Hulk. Animal finally gets the hot tag. Clean sounds by IRS breaks up the Doomsday device. Not matters much as Animal power slams DiBiase down for a pin about 3 seconds later. The crowd was hot for this, but wasn't much to note. This is part of the 3-way tag team feud with the Natural Disasters over the fall, which ultimately saw Mighty Inc. coming out with the titles. This is the last appearance for this incarnation of the LOD for years in the WWF because of Rocco. Seriously, Hulk snapped over the idea and then go back to America. To be fair, not everyone knew that snap was coming sooner or later. C-minus. Ric Flair and Ring Gear, despite not being in action tonight, is happy to be in London. Gene asks him, whose dressing room is Mr. Perfect in? And Flair says, He's in the dressing room of the winner, of course, Lou. Touche. Virgil's ready for Niels tonight. Virgil versus Niels. There's a bunch of Niels. He was an escaped convict who wanted revenge on Big Boss fan for abusing him in prison. That's about it. By the way, I'm giving background just because you didn't watch it on YouTube.
Yeah, Niels would also be eventually fired because he decided to get into a fight with Vince McMahon.
Very good. He took my story.
Well, I didn't finish your story because I see the story.
Yeah, I did the long version.
Okay.
This isn't no clip this shit. This is wrestling for dummies.
Got it.
Not user dummies, just the For Dummies series. Like how Lacey Evans used Wrestle for Dummies.
Yeah.
Alexa Bliss, Wrestle for Dummies.
Like Vanessa Bourne and Ali were trying to give me
Fashion for Dummies.
Fashion for Dummies.
They need Wrestle for Dummies.
Yeah.
The great colleague.
Found about fashion from the Associated Press.
Shut up. Alexa, shut up.
Alexa. Stop. Hers also?
Apparently.
We send Alexis into a frenzy.
I know.
There's a bunch of deals other than what Pat just said. He attacked Bullshit with his nightstick, and Virgil is standing up for his injured friend. Niels immediately chokes Virgil in the corner, but Virgil comes back with some jobber offense. A roll, because no count on Niels, and it's back to choke from the convict. We head to the floor. Virgil's running the apron, sending him into a bad acting session. Virgil. Back in, Niels hooks a standing chinlock choke for the win. There's nothing to say here. Neither guy was interested. The match was a little more than a waste of the blow-off match against Big Boss Man. The problem with that is no one cared about Virgil, so all we had was a Niels squash. Niels just wasn't any good, and after the bullshit feud, he, like Pat said, went nuts. I know. He didn't have much other than a horrible sounding feud with Undertaker. Then he went nuts and choked Vince, and his office to say he wanted McMahon dead during the steroid trials, basically saving Vince from prison.
Yeah.
That's Niels' entire WWF career for all intents and purposes.
Pretty much, yeah.
Niels lays out Virgil and posts with a nice stick post-match. Alfred Hayes can't find Mr. Perfect, nor can get in the Mosh Man's dressing room. We recap Sean versus Rick Martel. Sean calls Martel an IC title shot, so Martel started hitting on Sean's manager, Sherry. Sherry then started coming out to support Martel, saying the showdown tonight. However, since Sherry thought both guys were hazing him, she made the rule that there would be no hitting to the face. Sean versus Rick Martel. This is the rare heel versus heel match. Rick is dressed for tennis for some reason I didn't quite grasp. The back of Sherry's dress is missing, sending Vincent to a frenzy over the sight of a thong.
That thong, the dong dong dong.
Martel grabs a headlock to start and avoids the right hand for doing some jumping jacks. Sean slides between Martel's legs and takes over a dropkick. Apparently dropkicks to the face are legal. Martel misses a crest behind and Sean cries on to take over. They trade nip-ups, but neither guy can bring himself for a punch. Instead, Martel plays face in the match, sends Sean on top of Sherry's feet. Rick heads to the floor, hugs Sherry, who seems very pleased with both men. Back in, they trade rolls with a handful of tights each, resulting in Sean's tights barely staying on. Sweet chin music to the chest gets two for Sean, and neither Martel's face gets two. Martel rolls him up as well, and now they're ready to fight. They trade slaps to drill Sherry up to the apron, and she faints. The guys get in a fight over who gets to give her CPR, but the fisticuffs break out, resulting in a double count. Sherry pokes her help to reveal she's playing possum. This actually didn't do much for me as it did the first go around. It was more of an angle than a match. Sherry will be going soon after this. Let's cut the story for going anywhere, but the match here wasn't terrible. Sean will be launching for the roof soon. And that's by dominating mid-card for the next few years, while Martel won't do much else in the company. D+. They followed the aisle until Seuss break them up. Sean carries Sherry out, but Martel knocks him down. Dropping Sherry to the floor in process. Martel picks her up and carries her a few feet, but Sean decks Martel, knocks Sherry to the floor again. Martel finally runs out of bucket of water to wake Sherry up. The Nasty Boys told about the world title match for some reason. They asked Jimmy about a title shot, but Jimmy Hart lost the match for my name. It is nobly anxious, which is hinting at his face turn. Tag titles: Natural Disasters versus Bradley Brothers. The brothers are managed by Genius and Challenger here. Genius messes up his pedaling by getting some dates wrong, but the fans are already cheering for the fat champions anyway. The Challengers try to jump the big guys early on, but the champions take their heads over the clothesline. Both brothers, Bo and Blake, are crushed in a fat man sandwich, leaving us with Typhoon and Star against Blake. Typhoon pounds away on the small man, while Blake manages to lift him up. For a slam, he can't turn over, but it was like try at least. Everything breaks down for a few seconds until we're back to more disaster dominance. Quake accidentally splashes Typhoon in the corner, and the ocean-themed guy is down. The brothers double-team Typhoon, who was splashed, but he loses both of the forward kick out. Hang on a second, it was announced Shawn Michaels has left Wembley Stadium. Back to the match, with Blake hitting a middle rope headbutt for a delay 2. Bo holds Typhoon a rope so Blake could jump on his back, and move later used by Charlie Haas and Shelton Benjamin. The brothers take turns pound on Typhoon and drill Earthquake in, allowing them to double-team Typhoon even more. A headbutt is for Blake as ultimate front face lock. Typhoon finally makes the tag, but the referee doesn't see it, likely due to being bored by the match so far. Bo drops the axe handle on Typhoon's back, but the big man finally clotheslines the Burleys down, but stops to slam Bo instead of tagging out. Blake dropkicks his brother into a crossbody on Typhoon for 2, and Quake has had enough. His save attempt is broken by the Genius's Bell Scroll to Typhoon's back as this match just keeps going. Quake breaks up the cover and just a hot tag clean house. A power slam and the Earthquake are enough to retain the titles. This just won't stop. As the brothers got way too much offense in here, the problem is the same as it was last year. There's no doubt to who's walking out the belts that make it for a round board match. Also, the Beverleys were pretty average-sized guys. There's only so much I can do against people like the Disasters. The Bushwhackers speculate on whose corner Perfect will be in. Gene Okerlund makes some very bad British jokes. Hayes can't get into the Warriors' dressing room either. He tries to barge in and calls Warrior rude for blocking the door. Even he points to jump in. Reaper Man versus Crush. Reaper tries to jump Crush, but as the fact earns himself a girl press slam. We head to the floor for a closeout from Crush before heading back inside some kicks to reimpose ropes. Crush pounds on the ropes even more and has a backbreaker under the poking eye to break the man. Reaper has a belly back suplex and Crush no sells it and snaps all belly belly. A top rope knee drop misses and Reaper goes into the knee with some very basic stuff. And an elbow drop soon Crush easily fights up. Catches Reaper come up the top and power slam and hooks the head vice for the submission. This was a glorified squash break. Crush looked good. They were this close to making Crush the next big thing in 1993. So seeing him look good here is a surprise at all. Reaper Man is really impressive, by the way, as he went from Smash to the new gimmick so smoothly that I didn't realize it was the same guy until years later. D. We recapped the world title match, which is summed up in one question: who sold out? This would be the story of the summers everyone was wondering. Savage would sell out to be able to beat the man and his career a year earlier, or if Warrior sold out to guarantee a second title match. Why both guys won a manager who wasn't even managing world champions, anyone's guess. Savage's line of "I'm the WWF champion and you're not" is great stuff. WWF title reign section result to Warrior. There's no sign Perfect or Flair, but Warrior. Warrior's also in a singlet here instead of his usual trunks. There's no one Savage either, that mean we had to wait even longer to find out who sold it. Savage offers a handshake to start, but Warrior accuses him of selling out and won't shake. Scratch actually does shake, but they pull each other together as one. As the filling out process will start, with Savage shoving away head, kicking knee to ribs, close on the back of Warrior's head, puts him down as the fans are built with Savage. Savage goes up top, but Warrior punches him down the ropes, break the double axe handle. A pair of top drops puts Rain down, some shoulder blocks Hussein. Savage pounds away, hooks a chin lock on for Warrior, break over a Joel Breaker. A big right hand staggers the champion horror. Warrior stomps away for good measure. Warrior has a clothesline. Savage ducks away, sending Warrior chest first into the buckle. The champion clotheslines out at 4 for a bit before hitting the top rope back handle back inside. And it's no effect that all those Warrior starts marching around the ring. Savage elbows him in the face, pulling back down though, goes up again on the dive into the backbreaker for 2. Warrior whips the champion hard in the core a few times and we're pulling on a bear hug. Instead of hanging on to it though, he lets Savage go almost immediately and gets a 2 count. A no backbreaker, so but Savage goes out with a small package for 2 of his own. And Deathbreaker puts the chapter down, but delay cover only is 2 for Randy. Warrior comes out with a hard clothesline and starts pounding with Savage's back. A suplex puts Savage down for a close 2 as the fans are getting into these near falls. Warrior charges Savage but falls out to the floor by mistake. Randy goes up a drop shot, another double axe on the Warrior's back before sending him to the steps for good measure. Back in, Sunset Flip gets 2 for Savage, but Warrior slams him down. Here are Flair and Perfect, the ringside Warrior splashes to knees. Savage and Warrior clothesline chart down, which gets 2 each for both guys. Randy's up first, and Perfect trips him down, signaling the Warriors to sell out. Back up, and Warrior pushes him down before choking Savage into the corner. Warrior first Savage in the corner again, but the referee's bumped in the process. A slam puts Savage down, and Warrior goes up top for a right hand to the head, although there's no referee. The referee finally comes over, count to 2, and Warrior's visibly frustrated. Back up Savage says the need to send Warrior to referee again before he apologizes on the ultimate one. There's no referee again, though, so Savage goes check on. As Randy's out on the floor, Flair perfect takeout Warrior behind Savage's back. Randy drops a big elbow, but the referee's there time for count. Flair perfect a hollow on the floor. Warrior starts to come back with Savage pounding on way on his back. But to no effect, he runs over Savage with the clotheslines and the flying shoulder block before the gorilla press. Savage is in big trouble while his Warrior sets up the splash. Flair hits him in the back with a chair. Note that Savage didn't see what Flair did. Savage doesn't know what to do now, but he realizes Flair perfect to stuff him. The champion goes on top, but he isn't sure. Instead of dropping elbow, though, he dives back Flair, but gets knocked out of the air by a chair shot, injuring Savage just in the process. Savage is counted out and retains the title. This is another really good match between you two, and a great rematch from the first classic, a year and a half earlier, WrestleMania 7. The idea of having someone turn was a great incentive to watch the show, and having a new guy do the turn was the right move. The ending of the match is important student actors and B+. Post-match, Flair puts Savage in for a perfect and more shots to the leg. Warrior finally saves Savage with a chair and helps him to his feet. The official attendance of 80,355 was announced. Undertaker versus Kamala. Kamala was Undertaker's monster of the month at this point, and is managed by Harley Whitman. Undertaker rises to the ring to the back of her, still killing him more time. Taker fires off uppercuts and Sergeant chokes away in the corner before avoiding a charge in the Ugandan. There was a girl in our junior class below us in 2008-2009 that played the part of Kamala very well.
She did. Slapped her belly.
And she fell off her chair.
Yeah.
Harvey brings up old school, but Kamala can't take her role. He clotheslines the dead man to the floor, but Taker no-sells everything Kamala for his end. Back inside, Taker usually chokeslams him down and hits the tombstone, but Kamala's own manager, Kimchi, comes in for a DQ. Nothing to see here is this was some of the Colfa match in Survivor Series. This was during the ban period for Taker, as he fought a bunch of monsters, and no particular rhyme or reason. Kamala was off a special, and spent most of his career trying to be intimidating, but getting the short every time he did. Post-match, Kimchi helped Kamala lay Undertaker out, and the big man hits a top rope splash on Undertaker, but the dead man pops up a few seconds later. Apparently, they had a dark match in the middle of the card for the main event. Tataga versus Berserker happened here.
Didn't know that.
British Bulldog told about fighting hard for 2 years to reach this point. Yes, Britt's the champion, and his brother-in-law will one day again. In the ring together, Britt is a stranger to him. He hopes the family's reunited after the match, but he'll be the champ. Britt says that Davey might not know him, but he can look Britt in the eye and see the man that got Smith is starting the company. This is a total heel promo from Britt, which is the right move, given where they are tonight. Tonight, Smith's dreams become a nightmare. Here are some Highlanders playing the bagpipes. Their featured performer, bagpipe course. Also, cousin of Bret Hart.
Exactly.
Diana Hart-Smith, Britt's sister, and Davey's wife will be neutral tonight. She just wasn't good along after the match. Intercontinental title, Bret Hart versus Davey Smith. Bulldog has British Commonwealth boxing champion Lennox Lewis leading into the ring, and Canada Union Jack. The place comes unglued for Davey, but Britt is a boot devil, as his style is perfect for a crowd like this. Bulldog shot in the corner, start before hitting a hard shoulder to send champion to the floor. Back in, they head to the mat with Britt grabbing a headlock to take over. Britt gets a few near falls and some roll-ups and is right back to the headlock. Back up again, Davey grabs a hamlock, but Britt hit a hard elbow to the face and escape, drilling the iron to fans. Davey takes him down with basic technique, cranks the arm bar. The whole stays over a good while the fans are getting louder and louder the longer Smith has control. Britt finally says under the ropes this game and drives the knee into Smith's ribs. The fans boo hard out of the stadium for a basic move like a knee and booing him loud for a chin lock. An atomic drop called a reverse pile driver by Vince. Puts Smith down. Britt blocks a crucifix, which spoke earlier, and Samoan drop for 2. Another chin lock is quickly broken by Davey, charges the boot in the corner, putting him down again. A Bulldog puts Bulldog down, but he slams Britt off the top for a second later. Davey misses the top of his splash to the outside, drawing top feet for Britt. The champion tries to dive to the floor but lands on Davey's back, nearly breaking several bones in the process. Britt sends it into the post for a hand back inside Palmway with European uppercuts. Hart hooks a chin lock for a good while before loading up the 5 moves of doom. He pulls Bulldog by the hair to show how evil he is as ultimate sleeper. This stays on for a long time as well, but Smith rings in corner escape again. They slug out, but Davey drops him out of a gorilla press and then ropes. 3 straight clotheslines get 2 for Smith. Gorilla press gets the same. The delayed vertical in the chest first bump and then buckle get the same. Bulldog gets his power slam finisher where Britt gets out too with flirtless a reaction from the crowd and respect. Britt rolls through suplex for 2 his own, only to get suplex down for a near fall. Back up again, double close puts both guys down, giving the fans a needed breather. While Layla's back, Britt hooks her sharpshooter a la last year. I guess Mr. Perfect, terrifying fans, like he hooked it from the ground. Smith gets the ropes, so Britt tries to suplex, but Davey drops his knees, hooks both ways for the pin and the title. The place of ropes for the 3 count. This took a while to get going, but once those year full start and turned into instant classic. Davey had to win here and was a perfectly clean match and clean pin in the middle of the ring. Britt, ever the critic, doesn't like this match. And basically blames the whole thing on Smith for being spent 5 minutes in and being drunk the night before.
I think he was still hungover. He didn't really remember anything. So Brett literally had to call a match to him.
Now, that's Britt's man. Those of us in the real world,
yes,
see it for what it is. A masterpiece.
Absolutely.
A+. Britt, Davey, and Diana embrace to end the show. Overall rating B+. This is a show where the matches don't add to the whole rating. The thing to remember is this show's less than 3 hours. In your house nowadays.
Absolutely.
And nearly an hour of that is spent on 2 great matches. The rest of the band stuff is pretty short. And the 2 main events more to make up for it. This is easily the best SummerSlam so far. Up until 9-2.
Mm-hmm.
Prior to... And one of the best ever. 2002 still though.
Yeah.
And maybe 2013. And then this one. But yeah. Check this out if you something I've never seen. I'm talking bullshit. On Monday we'll be back with our Starrcade 1995 review. WCW versus New Japan. And our Monday Night Wars July 8th, 1996. So see you then.
See you then.